Going on, everyone? It's your boy, Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel. I'm on camera. Holy crap. I know it's been a while since I've been on camera, but it's time to be back. I'm feeling a little bit better, so camera time for Dead on Dave. Now, of course, you're not here just to look at this beautiful face. Of course not. I wouldn't blame you if you did, of course. But you're here for your NXT review, and as you know, I have yet to watch NXT. And I'm going to kill myself. Yeah, I was going to kill myself because, as you heard the phone ringing in the background, that was my boy Tommy C. The worst timing in the world. Every time I'm doing a show, he fucking calls. I swear to God. It's great. All right, so NXT. You're here for the NXT review. And as you know, I haven't watched NXT yet. I'm going to do that right this second and give you my segment-by-segment reactions, breakdown, and analysis for those of you who give a fuck about what I have to say. So let's get right to it. Let's stop gilding the lily and start talking wrestling. Let's get into NXT. You ready? Let's go. 2 minutes and 23 seconds in, and we got a very explosive beginning to NXT. Pretty awesome. Zack Ryder comes out and going absolutely crazy. Get the crowd really, really hyped, too. I haven't seen the crowd this hype in a long time. To this, it's almost like it's pay-per-view level, to be honest. They're really excited. I think it has a lot to do with Samoa Joe's debut on this very episode, which is awesome. He comes out, and then he's tag teaming with a guy who hasn't been around in a long time, one of the most hype motherfuckers I have ever seen in the ring, Mojo Rawley, who has been out for quite a while. Hell, really the entire time that I started really watching NXT, I haven't seen him. So it's going to be interesting to see him go here. Interesting cat. This is going to be a good tag team match. It's against nobody, so it should just be full offense by Rawley and Ryder. So that's pretty cool. I think it's really good that Ryder is down on NXT. I think having NXT is going to be kind of akin to what SmackDown was when the brand split happened. And what I mean by that is it's going to be a place to go for a lot of the guys who just have nowhere else to be seen. And because it's still considered a developmental area, it's going to be, you can look at it like a demotion for some, but it could also be a proving ground for others. And Zack Ryder might fall into that latter category, which I think is really cool. It's a really cool concept, and NXT is evolving so quickly into these different things. So it's pretty interesting. I'm really enjoying this new dynamic, and I'm enjoying seeing guys like Zack Ryder down at NXT because it almost feels like a second chance, and that's pretty cool. So let's see what else is next here. Let's watch this match. So about 7 minutes in, and we got a finish here in Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder defeating Rawless and Sampson, a tag team that looks very good, by the way. Two really good-looking kids. I've seen a few times on NXT, but right now they're just enhancement talents. That's all they really are, and that's completely fine. But I see something there. They're developing. But the story here is Mojo and Zack Ryder, who are very entertaining duo that probably are going to take the place of Cass and Enzo. When Cass and Enzo leave or whatever, if they go heel or whatever they want to do with them, Ryder and Mojo can kind of take their place. They have some cool stuff. Mojo has Hammer Time, which is kind of funny. And their tag team finisher is a super Rough Rider, where they do the tag team setup, where your partner holds the guy up high and Ryder comes off the middle rope with a Rough Rider. Pretty cool finish, actually. So it's interesting. I like this team. I like the match. I like the chemistry between Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. It worked for me. Very good match. I give the match a 7.5. I thought it was a good match. Not because of some great technical work, because it was effective and it was entertaining. I think that's the biggest thing that gets lost when people are like rating matches. Just because a match isn't technically back and forth and technically sound and all this stuff doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad match. If the match is entertaining and effective and serves a purpose, which this match did by setting up hopefully a good lengthy run from Ryder and Mojo, then it's a good match, plain and simple. And so for my money, it was a good match. So let's go ahead and check out what's next on NXT. Good start. 7.5. Good start. It's about 9 minutes in or so, and there's a really cool, effective promo for Finn Balor, and they were like talking about the two sides to people, because this is always talking about like regular Finn Balor and then the demon of Finn Balor. And I was wondering why it was that. Well, it ended up being a promo for the 4th of July show, which will be on the network, and it's in Japan. The fact that they're heavily promoting Finn Balor tells me that I'm probably right about Finn Balor taking the title off of Kevin Owens at that event. And that's just because obviously Kevin Owens can't keep both titles forever. Balor's a good guy to succeed him, so it should be interesting. They're making a big deal about this return to Japan, and because they can't hype Hideo Itami, which, let's face it, would have been the guy, next best thing is Finn Balor, who made his career in Japan. So that's going to be exciting. Seeing WWE in Japan is going to be a really good testing barometer for them. We're going to see exactly where they are, because those fans are used to seeing a certain level of wrestling, and if they don't get it, they will let you know about it. So it's going to be very cool to see. I'm excited. I'm going to watch that one. That's going to be great. That has the potential to be one of the best shows of the year, to be completely honest. It's July 4th show. I'm talking pay-per-views and everything. This has the potential to be one of the best cards you'll see all year. It's going to be really interesting. So let's check that out. But for now, let's get back to NXT. Okay, 14 and a half minutes in, and yes, the match that I'm watching is not over yet, but I wanted to make reference to it because this is just one of the many reasons why NXT is so damn awesome. We got Blue Pants taking on Evil Emma, which is just fantastic. Look, I don't know why people lose their shit over Blue Pants the way they do. I like her too. I think she's great. But man, the fans love her. The fans love Blue Pants. Cass is doing the intro music, the entrance music, which is great. The Price is Right stuff, that's fantastic. But this is why I like NXT, and this is why I like the 400 crowd atmosphere. The chanting of Happy Birthday, Blue Pants, that's pretty cool. Let's go Blue Pants, Evil Emma, that's great. I love the Evil Emma thing. Just a cool match. It's already starting really, really physical and aggressive, so I'm digging this. Let's go back to it, and I'll tell you what I think about it when it's done. I just love Blue Pants. Let's go Blue Pants! About 18 and a half minutes into the event. Good match. Not a great match. It was wear down holds. Blue Pants is good in short bursts, but when she gets stretched out, she kind of gets exposed for a lot of the holes that she has, and like her story is kind of interesting. She wasn't even supposed to be on NXT. She was just there as an enhancement thing, and they were like, somebody else got hurt or something, and they had to bring her in, and they just said, hey, wear those pants. Or she just pulled them off her rack or something. It was something that she was wearing, and Triple H was like, did you hear that? That's amazing. But she's not the most gifted technician. Emma, who is really changing her styles to be more physical and wrestling like a heel with a lot of wear-down holds and all that, which is perfectly fine. It just wasn't a very good contrast of styles, so there was a little bit of slop, but it wasn't a bad match. I'd give it about a 5.5, so it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. The finish was good because Blue Pants was making a comeback and hitting these weird kicks of hers, and then Emma counters, and she locks in that submission hold that she's using, and it's really cool because it's like a reverse STF, like her body's in a different position, the person giving it, in this case Emma, and she locks it in, and then she starts gyrating herself up and down, and it looks so goddamn sexy, and she's putting all this pressure in that gets the tap out. It's awesome. I love it. I love what Emma's doing. I love her new look. I love her new entrance music. I love her new attitude. I like her new skill set. I'm liking this new direction of Emma, and I think it's going to pay off for her in the long run. And it also says a lot about her that she was able to get over as the goofy Emma, the weird dancing with bubbles Emma, and now this Emma. She's getting over as a heel, and it's pretty damn cool to see. It just goes to show that there's something about Emma, and she's going to make it. I have no doubt in my mind that she will make it one day. So, pretty cool. Let's see what's next. It looks like we're going to get a promo from my favorite, Big Cass and Enzo Amore, along with Carmella. Let's check that out. 2023 into the show. We got a nice little promo out of Big Cass and Enzo Amore, as well as my girl Carmella. It was it's what they do, and it's funny and entertaining, and I love these guys. And I can't wait till they get their NXT title run, mainly because I want to see them get a WWE title run, tag team titles. That is tag team titles. That is, mates. That was terrible. So yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and get back to it. That was pretty easy, and I probably didn't even need to stop for that segment, but oh well. Let's find out what's happening next on NXT. 27 minutes in. Okay, there's going to be a lot of people who probably are not going to like this match. I thought this was brilliant. Bull Dempsey and the workhorse of NXT, Tyler Breeze, the guy who wrestles every single week, and he's the grinder of NXT, and it looks like they might be starting him into a face turn category. So Tyler Breeze gets his normal reaction. Some people like him, some people hate him, and that's fine because he has that very arrogant type of gimmick, which is cool. Bull comes out, and they hate Bull. Everybody hates Bull. You know, he has this stupid entrance, Bull, and everybody chants shit, of course, but, you know, it's because we're all a bunch of immature idiots, but that's all right. So Bull comes out, and he starts getting a little bit of offense on Tyler Breeze, and this is where the genius comes in. This is absolutely brilliant. I thought this was so fucking funny. Tyler rolls out of the ring. Bull tries to go after him, and Tyler starts running around the ring. And Bull tries to catch him and gets winded, and the crowd starts chanting cardio at him. Cardio, cardio. This was brilliant. It pisses Bull off more, and Bull goes running at him again. Can't catch him. Tyler laps him, throws him into the ring. Beauty shot. Good night. That is brilliant. Brilliant. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they understand that Bull Dempsey doesn't necessarily have a lot of tools in ring. And this match was probably not going to be a very good match. So they went with an entertaining route. They decided to go kind of crazy, and it was nice. It was very cool, very funny. And I thought it was entertaining. That was entertaining as hell to me. I give it a 7.5 probably. Just because I was fully entertained. Because they didn't take up and that's the thing. It could have gotten stupid. It could have gotten dumb had they have continued to let it go on for a long time. But they didn't. A couple of laps, a little bit of winded by Bull Dempsey, and boom. Good night, Irene. Shows the intelligence and the evolution of Tyler Breeze. Pretty smart. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was very funny. And let's move on. Let's see what's next. We're getting closer to Samoa Joe's debut, which is going to be awesome. See if he cripples somebody. Tyson Kidd, rest in peace. About 29 minutes into the event, we got a recap of Becky Lynch's emotional moment after losing to Sasha Banks 3 weeks ago at TakeOver. You know, it was a cool moment to see again, you know, the crowd basically singing her entrance music after the match. That was cool. Becky Lynch in action. Can't wait to see what she has to what she's gonna do. It should be interesting. So let's move on with that, huh? Yeah. This was an unnecessary stop. This feels unnecessary. It felt like an unnecessary stop. I didn't need to stop after that little thing, but I did because I'm terrible. It just felt unnecessary. Oy. Back on camera and I'm dropping the ball. Jesus Christ. Here we go. So about 35 minutes in, we got the match between Becky Lynch and a new diva, Jessica Kay, who is smoking hot, by the way, Australian, really good looking, and has quite a bit of buzz about her, apparently, in the indie scene. And Becky did her thing. Now, look, she's a more face-friendly Becky now. They gave her some gear. She's got the steampunk goggles, a more steampunk look instead of the regular punk grunge look that she had before. She's much more face-friendly, and I think that's the whole idea. But her style in the ring is still amazingly awesome. She is getting better every single week. Even with a girl that she's probably never wrestled before or has very little experience with, She was able to do a very, very nice little match. Wasn't anything epic. It was solid. It was a solid 6. It was a good match. And Becky was entertaining, and she was continuing her ascent and getting over with the crowd. And that's what matters. And that's the only thing that really does make a difference. I mean, it feels like the same thing they did with Sasha. Sasha had to get out from under the shadow of Charlotte. Now, Charlotte hasn't left NXT yet, but she's definitely moved on to something different. She's not in the title picture anymore. And whether or not Sasha leaves, that's yet to be determined. But it feels like the same thing they did with Sasha, they're doing with Becky now and building her, but as a face. And it's pretty cool. I like what they're doing. I enjoy Becky Lynch, and that was a decent little match. Let's see what is next. I think we're getting an announcement from William Regal. That should be something. 37 minutes, and what the fuck did I just see? Oh my god. Alright, so the Bull Dempsey thing was not just a random occurrence. There is a reason for it. They're giving him a fat kid gimmick. And it's hilarious. William Regal's doing a little thing, and he comes in eating Doritos. And Regal's like, I think you have a problem. And Bull's like, oh, that was about what happened earlier. I was up training all night, and I was doing pretty good until, I lost. It was so funny. This is interesting. They took a dull, stale character of Bull Dempsey. You turn him into a fat kid, and oh man, that's good. That's funny. I feel bad for Bull Dempsey, but being a fat guy, I appreciate that. That's funny. That's hysterical. But it'll get shit on. It'll get fat shamed. Because it's worse to be fat than it is to be a fucking murderer nowadays. Jesus Christ. But it's okay. The fat people. Like I always like to say to people who come on here sometimes and leave comments like, do you have diabetes? Which is stupid. Because I don't, surprisingly. I'm surprised that I don't, to be honest. This is what I always have to say. Real simple. I can always lose weight. In fact, I've lost a lot. But you will always be an asshole. That doesn't go away. So, that's the way I look at it. Let's get back to NXT. Bull Dempsey is a fat kid gimmick. I love it. It's hysterical. Let's see what... Oh, that's appropriate. Look at the meme. That's good. All right, back to NXT. That's funny. Jason Jordan. This is basically same time frame as the last thing. Jason Jordan trying to find a new tag team partner. This is hysterical. This Chad Gable. I like him with his monogram towels. That's funny as hell. It's a good little thing. We'll see how that pays. There's so many stories that are going on within NXT, and for an hour show, it feels like they're cramming so much in. It's great. It's really wonderful. Let's get back to NXT. I think we're getting Baron Corbin. 43 minutes in, Baron Corbin gets the easy victory over Angelo Dawkins. Not a lot to the match. Very cut and dry. But, once again, they're putting Corbin on the rise. So at least it accomplished something. So it wasn't a bad match at all. Corbin hitting the end of days to get the victory. It wasn't a 30-second match like it usually is with him. So they stretched him out a little bit more. And, the more I see of Corbin, the better I like him. I like that they're stretching him out a little bit and giving a little more substance to his matches. That's a good thing. So hopefully that will continue. All right, finally, it's all done. Let's watch and let's see what Samoa Joe does his NXT debut. That's what's up next, and I'm excited. Let's check it out. That is right now. All right, boom, mind blown on the ending segment of NXT. Okay, the match, Samoa Joe's match against Scott Dawson, perfectly fine. It was slow a little bit at times, but here's what I noticed. Samoa Joe's in the best shape I've seen him in years. When he got his offense going, it looked crisp, it looked sound, it looked effective, and most importantly, it looked nasty, and that's a good thing. Hit a very clean muscle buster to get the victory. The entire time he was having the match, Kevin Owens was absolutely killing it on the mic, killing it on commentary. Hilarious back and forth with everybody. Very funny stuff. It was very good. It was an enjoyable ending segment. Then Samoa Joe gets the microphone and goes off. And I swear to God, I have not heard this good of a promo out of Samoa Joe in 2006, 2005. He seems like he gives a shit, like he hasn't given a shit in a very long time. I am so happy to see Samoa Joe here in NXT. Kevin Owens, he hysterical when he grabs the mic and rebuts against Samoa Joe. Couple of really good zingers. Samoa just said that Kevin Owens was running away. First thing Kevin Owens said was, "I don't really run anywhere," making a joke about his physique, which is hysterical. The back and forth between the two was great. They're going to have a match next week on NXT. Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, not for the title, but what does it say about Kevin Owens that he's going to be having matches? John Cena at the pay-per-view, Samoa Joe, and then Finn Balor on the 4th of July. He's doing everything. The question is he doing too much? Is he taking on too much? And it has to be a worry. I don't think so. He's easily well-equipped to be able to handle anything that comes his way, and he's doing a great job. This is hysterical, very, very funny, and not only that, it was entertaining. Samoa Joe had a great debut. I loved it. I loved everything about it. So much fun to watch. So there it is. One of the best NXTs that we've had in a while. And I mean, that's not saying the other NXTs were bad, but this week's episode was so good. There was so much wrestling. God dang, there was a lot of wrestling, a lot of promos. It just seemed like they packed so much in there. Might be time to go to 2 hours for NXT. Maybe. I don't know. I'm no rocket man, scientist guy. Let's talk about a few other things that's going on in the world of wrestling, shall we? Couple things. One, Tough Enough contestants are already being eliminated. Already happening within 24 hours of getting down to Florida. Tough Enough people already eliminated. And here are some of the names that have been eliminated. Kevin Pansek, Jason Vasquez, Lorenzo Davis II, Ava Knight, Salika, Chris Haney, San George, Philip Gulliford. They've all been confirmed to be eliminated. But Adam Big O O'Reiner, who is pretty important guy in the Zack Ryder universe, he has a very big affiliation with him. He's been eliminated already. So quite crazy. And Carly Marshall got an injury, a knee injury, so she's probably out as well. So some interesting things that have happened already with the Tough Enough eliminations. So we'll see how that's going to end up being. Question for everybody. What did you think of Samoa Joe's debut? I thought it was great. I thought it was interesting. I'm going to do another video maybe today. I'm not sure because there's a few things I want to talk about. Probably I want to get back into the Tough Enough stuff. But I also want to talk about the China situation that's popping its head back up into the world. Her getting completely... Usually when someone makes allegations against somebody, whoever they're making allegations against doesn't come out and try to challenge them directly. Well, basically everyone that she's saying did stuff to her is challenging her and calling her on her bullshit. So we're going to get into that. I want to talk about that as well. And also, WWE possibly working with WNW and Evolve. This is pretty impressive and pretty important because it's changing the landscape of the business in a way that we haven't seen in a long time. WWE doesn't work with other organizations they don't own. It's been a very long time. OVW was like the last time that it happened. Because FCW, they just flat out purchased. OVW, which later turned into NXT. But when the last time it happened that the WWE had an affiliation with an outside organization, we got guys like John Cena, Batista, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton. Other guys were there at the time. Samoa Joe was there at the time, I believe. So was AJ Styles. CM Punk, I believe, was there. I mean, it's just like the amount of people that were down there at the time was ridiculous. So pretty cool stuff. And it can be very important for this change. Wrestling's changing. There is something going on with organizations going to the same television stations, organizations teaming up, WWE getting on board and not letting the train leave them. They're making partnerships now. That can be very important. So I want to talk about that as well. But I think for now, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. It was a good show. Hope you guys enjoyed NXT. I did. Let me know in the comment section below what you felt about NXT, and we'll see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. And remember, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Take us out, Real Talk.
I just gotta know.
This the kid, Real Talk, what up? Yo, I gotta know. I am Real Talk. Got my cousin in the bed, put a hole in my leg. Hating on my nigga G's. This is my mama had to go.
This is Jack of all trades, nigga.
I gotta ask him like,
Yo, I got some questions I need answering. Do they feel my pain through their brain, which I am capturing? 20s on my whip, I put choppers in my trunk. My big cousin did the same, so why he get hit by the pump? Quintessential thirst, why I burst on every notepad. Niggas snitching, that's prison, I wish that shit on no man. But they allow it like women who get abused. Am I shallow cause I want my bitch as bad as Lucy Liu? Nah, why am I higher than I ever been? Cause she got a fat ass, you gon' get that bitch a 10. Fatalities, niggas talking like they really on that. That is not a game, do you think this Mortal Kombat? Yeah.